What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into all of today's picks. Uh, I have a few college plays, and I'll go into them in a second, but there's only like two of them. As far as the NBA, we're playing a full schedule just because I want to. And it's funny, last night I put out a thing saying, all right, good value underdog is the Bulls. Everyone lock it in. I'm guessing they heard me because now it went from plus 185 to plus 140. If you weren't able to lock that in, that's all right. That's the one issue I have with like money line values. You have to be so precise and get it at the perfect time, and then hope that the underdog wins. But either way, I had gone into why I like the Bulls to win straight up against the Suns. And it's the last video if you hadn't seen that. Now, the rest of these are going to be spreads. First off, I like the Magic to cover. Again, I think they have to keep them strong, keep them at the heels of the Bulls, at the Wizards. Keep them up there with the Pacers, Raptors. So, it's just, in my opinion, they can't lose games like this. And they have to look strong. They have to look like they can actually be a, Cinderella team that can make a run. Nobody believes it, but, the NBA, they're going to set up every of these last 20 games in the playoffs. Every team is going to look like somehow a contender. You see them doing it with teams all the time. So I like the Magic to cover this one. Here, I like the Hawks to cover the Blazers. If it was a few points, like 3 or 4, that'd be more realistic. I could see them giving it to the Blazers. Now, my argument. I think the Blazers are getting in the playoffs. That being said, the Hawks, they're only 31-31. I don't think they're finishing as a play-in team. I really don't. I think they're going to finish as a regular playoff team. And that's why I think they're going to win games when you have teams like the Wizards and Bulls that will lose. Now, tonight I have the Bulls winning. But my point is, in general, I think the Hawks are going to be ahead of the Bulls, ahead of the Wizards, Raptors, to prove that they're a better team. And I think 8 points, a lot of people are going to be on the Blazers here. Here's one where it's really easy to say, hey, let's take 240 plus 240. Let's take the Blazers straight up. But it's just, again, we know how it's set up, so I don't think that would be too smart. I think they're going to have the Blazers get pelted pretty hard tonight with that spread. So I do like the Hawks to cover that one. I like the Nets to cover the spread. The second I saw it, the first thing that popped in my mind was win, no cover. I don't know why. Maybe because they set the spread at plus 400 for the Nets. But my first thought was Celtics are going to win but not cover. So I'm still sticking to that. I think Nets cover the 11 points. Next, we got the Heat, and I'm taking them by the 3.5 or whatever it closes at. I just think, A, their record against the spread. B, yes, they need the Knicks looking strong, but they don't need to look this strong. If people don't know, my surprises to make the playoffs were Thunder and Blazers in the West, and Knicks and Wizards in the East. So we'll see how that ages. It's aging pretty good, I'd say. I'd say all 4 of those teams nobody had getting in the playoffs. But, yeah, the Knicks I had getting in, but games like this, it's more important for the Heat to win. You can't have them all finishing, with the tied record, at a 9, the 9-10 spot. Teams like the Heat, teams like the Hawks, they got to pull ahead. So that's what's going to happen, I think. I think the Heat win this game, make it more interesting in the East. As you know, I like the Bulls. I already got them at plus 180, but I still like them. And now, if I was playing them, I would just, you might as well just take the money line. You're still getting plus 140. Not as good as last night, but obviously still decent value. Next, I like the Thunder to cover the Jazz because it's a 1-point game. More people are going to be on the Jazz, in my opinion. And I think the Thunder have to win games like this. Again, they got to stay in the picture. Them, the Lakers, all these teams have to be around 30 wins. They can't be 3-4 games out when there's 10 games left. You might be able to do that with one team and give them a run, but you can't do it with every team. Next, we got Nuggets here, plug Grizzlies, Nuggets. And this one, I do like the Nuggets. I like them because I just think they're trying to establish the Nuggets as the Suns of this year. While I think the Celtics are going to have the best record, I think they're going to have 60 wins, like I said, for Bill Russell. I think the Nuggets are going to be just presented as the consistent team that played the absolute best in the West, and bar none. and you could say there's better teams like the Suns, like the Clippers, like the Warriors, but as far as how they played, you can see their position in the Nuggets just, again, there's just bar none right now as far as teams that have played as well as them. That way, when they get bounced in the first or second round, they'll take a lot of the public's money because people are actually going to believe in this team. Next, I like the Pelicans to cover the Warriors. I've been saying for a bit, I don't know how they're going to get there, but I know the Warriors are going to be 34-31 because they love using those numbers with the Warriors. So whether they win and then lose or lose then win, I don't care. I'm hoping it's a lose then win. I think it also just makes sense. They need to establish the Pelicans as more than a 500 team. I remember going into the year, the public had this team winning the finals. So I think they want to get that narrative back across. They have superstars, and for the playoffs, you want to start flexing them. So I like Pelicans cover here. Here, I like the Kings cover. The reason I like it is because 8 points, again, it's a lot. So when these teams just played and it was 176 to 175, now all of a sudden it's an 8-point swing. They have it as 8 points. When the Kings only won by 1 point in double overtime. It makes me wonder, what does Vegas know? Who's sitting for the Clippers? Or what's going on? There's got to be something because there's no way it'd be set at 8 points. So I do like the Kings cover here a lot. Despite how I feel about the playoffs and their chances of making the playoffs, I know people think I'm crazy because I think they're going to get flipped. But I do have them winning and covering tonight. And finally, we got the Wolves. I like them to cover and beat the Lakers because I think the Lakers are going to be quite a few games behind. That way LeBron can make his late season dash only to fall 1 game short of the playoffs. Now, this is literally what I predicted for Aaron Rodgers when everybody told me he was making the playoffs. And I said, I think it makes more sense for him to lose and then win, make a nice comeback, and then lose because of a tie. I was almost right on that. The Commanders didn't get in, but he did lose by half a game, not get in the playoffs, and everyone felt bad for poor old Aaron. I think we're going to get the same exact thing with poor old LeBron here. He's going to come back, play really good, and it's not going to be enough. So as you can see, we have a ton of plays, and just to go into the ones I didn't go into, these are the only ones I'm playing that are not the NBA. It's 4 plays. I got Colorado State covering New Mexico because I looked at the line and New Mexico's only given like a point or two. And for me, there's no reason for that. Colorado State looks like trash. So I think more people are going to be on New Mexico. Grand Canyon, Utah Tech. If you know my metrics, you know why I took the under. Grand Canyon's been going over a ton this year. And then for the metrics, I got Duck covering Canadians because it's a decent line. And there's a lot of Ducks are really bad against the spread this year. And I want the Blue Jackets to beat the Kraken because obviously taking them with the goal and a half, we're going to get minus odds. But again, I try to look for odds that are kind of appealing, but not one that the public's going to be all over. So here I just went with one that 145 is certainly one they will pay out, but it's not one that, in my opinion, is too, you get plus 300 odds, stuff like that. Vegas is not going to be paying them out. Plus 145 in a game where I think more people will be on the Kraken. I like this pick. So you can see we do not have a ton of picks. We have 2 college, 2 hockey, and only 2 of them are leg 2. So I'm just plugging in our leg 2s here. Okay. So if it's a leg 2, it just means we play for 2 units. And the rest of these are our NBA. So you'll see that for our NBA picks, most of them are going to be leg 1-2s, but we have a leg 3 in here. So as you can see, I do like the Magic to cover the Hornets, like I said. So all we're doing now is we're going to just plug these in, okay? So for leg 1 losses, that's fitting. Magic did not cover the Bucks, so now we got them covering the Hornets. Hawks over the Blazers. And it's literally all I'm doing, just plugging in leg 2s for leg 1 losses. Heat cover the Knicks. As you can see, it's nothing too risky, but at the same time, We're closing out sequences, and I think it's with good metrics. So if Kaepernick is going to be a leg too. That leaves the Wolves cover the Lakers. Fun fact, as far as a net gain, the Los Angeles Lakers have been our absolute best team this year. I believe we are 14-8, profited 20 units off the Lakers. So I've been looking at some other teams, but yeah, the Lakers are right up there as one of, if not the most profitable teams for us this year. So that's always nice. And last, we got the Thunder. And again, I went over all these. I'm just showing you how I personally play them. And this is going to be a leg 3, of course. So this is going to be for one of our leg 2 losses yesterday. Plug it in right here. And it's the Thunder to cover the Jazz, my favorite play of the night. So that's all I do. Anyone that doesn't see, a lot of people are newer. I'm just getting recommended to them. Someone asked me the other day about, do you think it's rigged? Yes, I might not go over it every video, but that's literally our channel. It was founded because we know it's rigged, and we are picking based off of who we think the leagues have scripted to win. None of my picks are ever going to be who I think is the better team. But yeah, a few people even asked me that, so that's how much, again, YouTube's just giving us a hard time, which is fine. New people finding the channel is a good thing. But I wanted to explain to people, these picks are by no means the better team. We've been picking since September 24th, and we were shut down the first time, like I said before, on Christmas. But for that 3-month period, we never once picked the, quote, better team. We fade the public. We pick games that defy historical metrics. We pick games that don't defy historical metrics. And we pick games that look like traps, scripted games, narrative games, etc. And that's why we're up about 100 units. And with all that, we do use an actual money management system. So it's the combination of both, having the discipline, the money management, and knowing that it's scripted. So for anyone that was confused, a few people say, if you know it's scripted, why are you betting on it? Well, this is why I'm betting on it if I know it's scripted. It's because I'm up 94 units, and that's before anything tonight happened. So that's why I'm doing it. If I was losing money, that's one thing, but we are consistently profiting and netting more and more, even after bad nights, just because we always bounce back because we have the system and we know it's rigged. So yeah, to anyone that was wondering that, it's pretty simple. If you knew the end of a movie, you'd place a bet on it. If you were told the lottery numbers, you'd probably buy a lottery ticket, right? If I know who's going to win, or at least I have a pretty darn good idea who's going to be in the playoffs, for the most part, who's going to do well, what games are traps, and then we're going to do well, and we're going to keep doing it. So like I said, the Bulls was a nice upset. They changed the lines a little bit on us, but I think that means, again, we're over the target if we're able to spot those the night before. So I might start looking into that, hawking the lines. I know people who make money just hawking the lines. They basically snipe both ends. But we'll look into all that another time. I just wanted to make sure everybody had all my hockey picks, college, and the entire NBA schedule. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.